The 1970s were a golden age of colorful kitchens, classic family dinners, and food that's as unforgettable as the avocado green refrigerators it was stored in. From sugary drinks to meals frozen in time, let's take a peek into what you would have found inside a 1970s fridge and see how many of these you remember. First up, we have Tab, the diet soda that defined the 70s. With its pink can and bold promise of fewer calories, Tab was a staple for moms and teens. But let's be honest, the taste? Well, you drank it because you had to, not because you wanted to. Still, seeing a can of Tab just takes you right back to the kitchen table, doesn't it? Next, we've got RC Cola, the underdog of the Cola Wars. It was cheaper than Coke and Pepsi, but just as fizzy and refreshing. For a lot of families, RC was the soda for backyard barbecues and family get-togethers. Here's one kids loved in the 70s, High C. Those massive metal cans of fruit punch had enough sugar to keep a kid bouncing off the walls for hours. You'd punch 2 holes in the top with a can opener, and that bright orange drink would flow out like liquid gold. It didn't matter that it tasted nothing like real fruit. High C was a go-to fridge favorite for kids. Speaking of kid favorites, almost every household with kids had a jug full of Kool-Aid. Moms loved it because it was cheap, and kids loved it because it was basically pure sugar. Grape, cherry, lemon lime, everyone had a favorite flavor. My personal favorite was the cherry flavor. What was your favorite flavor? Let us know in the comments below. Here's one that's a little more obscure. Chocolate Soldier. It was like Yoo-Hoo's quirky cousin, a chocolate-flavored drink in a bottle. It felt a little weird drinking chocolate soda, but as a kid, you didn't care. Sweet, chocolatey, and portable. It was a treat, plain and simple. To kick things off with common food found in the fridge in the 1970s, let's start with a famous dessert dish, Jell-O. Whether it was a side dish, a dessert, or part of a questionable recipe, Jell-O seemed to always be in the fridge in the 70s. Jell-O was quick, colorful, and cheap, perfect for busy families looking to serve up something sweet. From bright red cherry to lime green, there was a flavor for every occasion. And let's not forget those Jell-O molds, the ones filled with fruit, marshmallows, or sometimes vegetables. Yep, vegetables. Who thought putting carrots in lime Jell-O was a good idea? So here's the question. What was your favorite Jell-O flavor growing up? Or do you remember a Jell-O salad that you tried to avoid at family gatherings? Share your Jell-O memories in the comments. Next up, we've got a classic that defined convenience in the 1970s. The TV dinner. Specifically, Swanson's TV dinners. These little trays of frozen food were perfect for busy families or parents who just didn't feel like cooking. You'd pop the foil tray in the oven, and 30 minutes later, you had a complete meal. Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, peas, and maybe a brownie if you were lucky. It was portioned, it was easy, and it meant you could eat dinner right in front of the TV. What's not to love? The sound of that foil peeling back was almost as satisfying as the meal itself. And sure, the peas were a little mushy, the mashed potatoes tasted suspiciously like cardboard, and the brownie was always way too hot. But back then, it felt like magic. It wasn't just food, it was dinner and entertainment all in one. Up next, we have a fridge staple that became a cultural icon, Spam. Love it or hate it, this canned meat was everywhere in the 1970s, and chances are it made its way onto your family's dinner table more than once. Spam was affordable, easy to store, and practically indestructible. Perfect for families on a budget. It was marketed as versatile, and boy did people get creative with it. Fried Spam for breakfast, Spam sandwiches for lunch, or diced Spam in casseroles for dinner, there was no escaping it. Do you remember some of the dishes you had that were made with Spam? Let us know about them in the comments. Of course, Spam also had its quirks. You never quite knew what was in it, but hey, it didn't matter. It was meat in a can, and it got the job done. And that wraps up our trip back to the 1970s fridge, a time when colorful drinks, Jell-O molds, TV dinners, and Spam were all part of everyday life. It's amazing how these foods can bring back so many memories of family dinners, packed lunches, and late-night snacks. So now it's your turn. What was your favorite food or drink from the 70s? Did we miss something that deserves a spot on the list? Share your memories in the comments below, and let's keep the nostalgia going. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.